Welcome to the Sound Moves podcast, the podcast about real estate in the Puget Sound region and great tips and advice for your life. I am your host, Paul Graff, real estate agent with RE/MAX Elite Brokers in Snohomish and a life coach. Our sponsors for this episode are the Wesley Bryan Salon and American Dream Motors. Today I want to talk about an article that came across our MLS news feed last week. This article concerns California real estate specifically, but maybe something we could see here in the not too distant future. I would love to know your thoughts on this too, so please call, text, or email me to share your opinions on this. You can reach me at 425-205-8810 or paulgraff@remax.net. So here we go. The California governor abolishes single-family zoning in a move to boost housing supply. This comes from October of last month, essentially. So to increase his state's housing supply, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill that fundamentally eliminates single-family zoning in the nation's most populous state. As a result, owners can redevelop their single-family lot and add up to 4 housing units on it. California, like Washington, is struggling with a shortage of affordable housing options. This is one approach to dealing with this problem. There are other approaches that may be able to help ease some of the pain too. Essentially what this bill does is it allows homeowners to split their lots or convert their home into a duplex, including having a duplex on each side of a divided lot, regardless of local zoning restrictions. So theoretically, it opens up high opportunity neighborhoods and lowers rent and housing prices. It simplifies zoning requirements by creating a process for local governments and developers to streamline development of new multifamily housing projects of up to 10 units built near transit or urban areas. It also addresses the persistent housing crisis while correcting city zoning laws that have contributed to racial segregation. Leaving neighborhoods so that they only allow single-family houses to be built essentially assures that no new housing will be built, says Yona Freemark, Senior Research Associate in Metropolitan Housing and Communities at the Urban Institute. Most Californians can't afford a typical single-family home, and our state's desperately limited housing stock has a lot to do with it. This is a quote from President and CEO of the California Building Industry Association, Dan Dunmoyer. This suite of bills will ease some of the obstacles to home construction and help combat the already record high cost of housing in our state. I'm grateful to Governor Newsom and legislative leaders for the courage to enact policies that support the construction of low and middle income homes with the goal of providing attainable, secure housing for all. But what about the other side of this argument? So opponents fear the change will destroy the character of residential neighborhoods. Livable California, a slow growth coalition that was among 100 cities and groups who opposed this bill, called it a radical density experiment and suggested developers would be able to remake neighborhoods without community input. Coinciding with the signing of SB 9, the group issued a statement outlining 8 reasons why they believe it is a bad idea. Analysts at UC Berkeley's Turner Center for Housing Innovation determined the new laws likely would add fewer than 700,000 housing units across California, citing criteria that must be met under SB 9. That study, based on a version of the bill without subsequent amendments, indicated development would be realistic in only about 410,000 parcels in California at most, or 5.4% of land now occupied by single-family houses. Restrictions include a lot size and provisions that the owner must live there for a minimum of 3 years before splitting the property. The housing affordability crisis is undermining the California dream for families across the state and threatens our long-term growth and prosperity, Newsom stated. Making a meaningful impact on this crisis will take bold investments, strong collaboration across sectors, and political courage from our leaders and communities to do the right thing and build housing for all, Newsom said. Meeting the housing goal is absolutely imperative if we are serious about building an equitable future. He also emphasized housing's connection to climate goals. It is similarly imperative to meet these housing targets because affordable housing leads to hours-long car commutes, directly inhibiting our efforts to meet our climate goals. Creating denser housing closer to major employment hubs is critical to limiting California's greenhouse gas emissions. So, what do you think? Will opening up zoning like this make a difference in places like California or Washington? What other ideas do you have to help bring about more affordable housing and deal with some of the economic and environmental issues we are facing? How would something like this personally impact you and your property? And would you add additional living units to your current place? I would love to hear your feedback on this. So again, you can reach me at 425-205-8810, call or text, or send me an email, paulgraff@remax.net. Take care, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I look forward to seeing you next week.